Well, hello, and welcome to another edition of Ramblin' Rides, Ontario style with downtown Katie Brown. We happen to be driving downtown at the moment. We have been on quite a whirlwind, I have to say, and it's been an amazing adventure.
We've done 3 provinces in the last 10 days.
That's true.
We've literally done Calgary to BC. Well, that's not a province. Alberta to BC to
You're also getting a geography lesson today.
To Alberta, back to Ontario, and now you're making your way home.
Yeah, and I have to say, I've had so much fun, but I'm really looking forward to being home. It's been very hectic, but so rewarding. And I guess we'll just start at the top of the journey and walk you through, because we had an absolutely incredible time. And it started with Katie flying into Calgary, and her plane was a little late.
Yep. And also so early.
Oh yeah, she had to wake up at
3 a.m.
Ontario time.
Drove to the airport to get on a 6 a.m. flight.
Yeah.
Forgot something really important.
What'd you forget?
I forgot shoes. I showed up at the Calgary airport in sparkly pink fluffy slippers, and you couldn't be more proud to be picking me up. So we had to do some guilt-free shopping where we got some shoes as we were making our way to British Columbia, which is so beautiful, and I hadn't really been there before. I've been to Vancouver, but I feel like it didn't count. To Burns Lake. What were we going to Burns Lake for?
We went to spay and neuter over 100 animals. 111 was the last number, and I had no idea what to expect going up there. I've been a big follower and supporter of the Canadian Animal Assistance Team for many years, over a decade actually now, and I really value the work that they do, and I follow their missions, and I always watch on social media what they're doing, and I talk with Chris Robinson, and she keeps me up to date on all the different missions they're doing. And so finally our schedules were able to coordinate so that we could go up and assist in one of these events, and it was remarkable just to see the people that came together, not only the team, because it's a team of 24 veterinarians and vet techs and assistants that come up. Yep, we were the assistants who come together and just volunteer their time and help as many animals as they can. And it felt really good, and it was a really good team. Like, I thought that instantly, we hadn't met any of these people before. We were an instant family. Everybody was working together so well. We had 3 different prep teams going on, and so these animals would come in, and they would come in with their owners. So there was, they weren't just all strays. There was animals that had homes but just didn't have the access to veterinary care, and they wanted their animals to be spayed and neutered because they were having all these puppies and kittens and they couldn't find homes for them, and that just it contributes to the problem. So they would bring them in. They were so thankful for what we were doing, and in the end,
you should talk about what your role was.
Okay.
You were prep assistant, so that was an incredible position for you to meet the owners, and then you would do an exam on the animal to make sure that that animal was healthy to be spayed or neutered, and then you got to help sedate the animal and make them feel comfortable when they arrive into our makeshift surgical theater, which was actually the viewing room of a curling club. Yes. If you don't know anything about curling, it's on ice, and so they use specific shoes that the floor in the viewing room is rubber. So it was
sort of like a hockey arena. They have down the rubber matting. So it was perfect for the animals and walking on all day. And so we had these teams set up. We had 3 different stations. Each had a trained, qualified veterinarian at them, and then vet technicians, and then us assistants too. And so, yes. So we would go and make sure that we were always on top of new animals coming in, admitting them, because it happened so fast. You know, there was a lot of different, but it was so well run and well organized. There was a couple really young kittens that came in that everybody loved. Of course, they were so beautiful and cute. And we were able to do a neuter on the male, but the female kitten was just too young, so we didn't want to put her at risk. So we just hung out with her, and she got some cuddles, and she was pretty cute. But overall, I think it was an absolute success. All of the dogs and cats left happy and healthy.
Because I was in recovery.
Yes, so Katie's job was very important. Kaz, what was your job?
I was the face they saw when they woke up.
Yeah.
But I also made sure that they came out of it aesthetic appropriately, and then the owners got to watch the entire procedure if they wanted to with their pet, so they could stand and watch the surgery through a glass, and then they would meet me in recovery, which was actually done through stations on the floor, which is the safest for an animal. We could crouch right down with them. I sat on the floor with lots of dogs surrounding me and their owners, gently waking them up, giving them cuddles, keeping them warm, and then my job was to explain aftercare to them. So I would provide the medication for pain relief and explain what to expect with their incision and how to heal and what to do if they need any assistance afterwards. So it was like the most magical experience, and it was so fun. And because all of the animals were owned, for the most part, it was a real joy to just provide care and love and get to meet amazing people in a community that I would never have been able to visit before, and to see a part of Canada and the culture and to be welcomed. One of the most special things, which I think this is something you might be wondering about, she did not get a perm. I have washed mine since, but Amber's hair loves dry shampoo, so she can go a little longer.
It's been a week for me since I've washed my hair.
Very thin hair. It does not last that long. But one of the women that was part of the community that we were helping came in. This was in an Indigenous community, and she wanted to braid all of our hair. Her name was Vanessa, as a thank you for coming to their reserve and helping. And so she braided every one of our hairs. Every one of you are amazing hairs. And it was the coolest thing ever. I loved it. It was beautiful. We all looked beautiful. It actually was easier to work.
Oh, it was so cool. That. She did mine in almost an updo of braids, and I left the updo in for 3 days, and it was so low maintenance and easy and perfect for what we were doing, because there was a lot of getting up, getting down, hanging over dogs, over a table, so it was really nice to just not have to worry about it. And then we traveled across the country, and I had to attend an appearance, and so I just let the braids out and let the mane flow, and
you were getting some questions. People are asking me, because I posted a story because I was there, and they were like, Amber's hair looks different, and I was like, story's coming soon. So
here it is. That's one.
Yes, but there is a really beautiful ending to this story, which we're both really, really excited to share. We might have done it again. On the last day, when we got to the curling club, there was a truck waiting. On the back of the truck were a bunch of feral, unowned dogs that a really generous member of the community was feeding and sort of keeping an eye on. He was able to catch 4 of them, and they were all siblings, and they were in these cages, and we came around the corner and saw them, and there was just something about one of them that I think was really special. And then when we got to meet her sister, she was equally as special.
So one of my jobs was to go out when the animals arrived and do their examination, and I would give them just kind of a tranquilizer, just orally, to sedate them a little bit so that they were calmer, because a lot of these animals hadn't been around people that much. And so I would go out and I would get their weight, make sure they were healthy, give them a bit of a chill pill, so to speak. And I came around the corner, and I had already seen these pups in the back of the truck, but I came around the corner of them in the waiting room, and there was something that just hit me. And I was like, I don't know what it was. It was just something. And I looked over at Katie, and I was like, Katie, come see these dogs. So we did the examination on them, and we were about to give them their sedation. And I was like, you know what? Hold off. Just hold off a minute, because if we were to do the spay and neuters that day, we wouldn't have been able to transport them
in our truck, which I need to play you right now. A pact that you and I made when we pulled into this community. We saw a couple of dogs, and I was like, we need to make this official. So this is what we agreed on. Okay, so we've just arrived in Burns Lake, and Amber and I are making a pact, because because we've seen a couple wild dogs already. Neither of us are bringing a dog home. Deal?
Deal.
Pinky swear me right now.
I don't know. I'm not going to.
Okay, well, for the record, I tried. Wish us luck. And this is how it turned out. Okay, so we made a pact. Things are really great. What you can't see is that her sister's also there. So, basically, the two girls did come home in a foster situation because they really did need a home. And the Canadian Animal Assistance Team has a policy where they love to go in, and their purpose is to fix the issue at the source and provide support at the source. So it's spay and neuter only, because that's where their efforts are directed. It's not a rescue that goes in and rehomes animals. That's a totally different support that communities can ask for when they need it. So they're very careful about ever taking animals out of a community, even if it's asked to do so. So we ended up getting permission from the band leader, and it was kind of amazing.
And let's not forget, we were all about to pack up and leave. Like, this was the last day. Katie and I had to get on the road early because we had to catch a flight for Ontario, and we had still a 12-hour drive in front of us. So we were trying to get ready to go, and then I'm trying to decide if we're gonna pack up these puppies and take them. And so it was a little bit hectic, and it was one of those things where I never like to make a quick decision on anything. I like to give it some time to think it over, but we agreed that these dogs needed a home and they needed to be fostered right away, or they were just going to be basically spayed and turned back out to be feral again. And we didn't think that was fair for them. So we decided the best thing to do for the dogs
is break our pact completely, load them in the car.
I never broke my pact because I never promised.
It's true. So
I knew better than to make that promise.
I tried so hard, but they ended up getting in the car. They were absolute angels on the entire journey home.
The 12 hours, they didn't make a peep. We took them out several times to go to the bathroom. They just kind of hung out. They had never been on leashes before, but they were so good. Like, they didn't ever try to escape or pull.
I know, thinking about them.
So sweet.
Yeah.
So then as we're traveling, Katie's really talking about them, and she's like, you know what, we really have to try hard to find these pups great homes. And
Amber looked at me with those big blue eyes, and she said,
what did I say?
She's your home. Make a phone call home. So I had to phone home and make sure I got some permission for our family. And I did, which was mind-blowing and actually so great. And so her name is Desi, and she got on the plane with Amber. She had never been on a leash, never been in a crate, never been on a plane. Loved all of it. Amazing.
She did so good. I don't know if she loved it all, but she took it all with grace and confidence. And she was just looking out at the world going, wow, my life has changed a whole lot in the last 24 hours. And
we were prepared for anything. We've flown a turkey. We've flown quite a few animals.
That is
true. It was really beautiful. So she arrived last night, the night before last, and
she settled in right away.
Beautifully. She has lots of chickens to protect, and lots of cuddles to give, and she has a family that loves her so much, and it's just honestly, it's so special. And thank you for looking at me and being like, agreeing. Please. Our hearts were on the same page.
So then that's only one of the two pups.
Yes.
So the other puppy, I dropped off with my husband and said, hi honey, I'm back for 12 hours. I've made sure that all the chickens and horses and everything are topped up with food and water, and oh, by the way, here's an extra puppy. Can you look after her until I get back? And he just looked at me.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, he's like, what? And so I'm gonna foster her, and she's just such a sweetheart and fitting in really well. that I hope everything's going well at home, because I don't think Sean would tell me one way or another. He just says, yep, she's good, she's hanging out. So I'm anxious to get home and just be home too, because I've been on the road for almost 2 weeks now, so it'll be really good just to get back home.
We have been rambling and riding, and it has been, honestly, I said this like really dramatic word yesterday, it's like the crescendo to the end of our summer, and it's just been so special, and I'm really thankful for all of the people who made this trip possible. There's been a couple of supporters who have asked you what's near and dear to your heart, and where to support, and we've always said Canadian Animal Assistance Team needs help. So thank you to everybody who's contributed to that. It's meant the world, and it even means so much more that we've been there in person. We've done the tireless work, and we've seen the fruits of this, and it's just been so special. And I want to say thank you, Amber, for bringing me on this journey with you. It's always a journey, and I love it. It's the most treasured friendship I have. So thank you, and thank you for
We've spent a lot of time together the last couple weeks.
We've had some fun moments, I have to say.
It's been amazing. And I have to say, after being in a vehicle with someone for over 24 hours of driving time, and I still want to be your friend.
Yay! Friendship! So I'm literally on the way to the airport to take Amber home, and it's been so special, and we'll be together soon.
Yes.
In a month, you get a month off.
Yes.
Me, and,
yes.
And we will be together soon in Toronto, and it'll be great. But thanks for watching this rambling ride that I got to be part of.
It's been quite the ride, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I also want to give a shout out to Melinda, who donated some money to help us along the way and to get to be able to do this Canadian Animal Assistance Team trip.
It lined up with her birthday.
And it did. It did. So this was special for her birthday, and it was special to us because, you know, it takes a whole village to do the things that these organizations do, and to be able to be hands-on, on the floor, doing this with a bunch of other incredible team members who some of them it was their first time, some of them have been doing this forever, and I can see why people come back again and again, because it's just absolutely rewarding, incredible, and it's not just the people that are on the floor that make this happen, but also the people who donate resources so that we're able to go and do these things.
Let's make a new pact. We're doing another one.
Okay.
You gotta pinky swear me this time.
I can definitely pinky swear.
So great.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to close this Rambling Rides. And to next time.